Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is your number one obscure animal fact? To cross a river, armadillos can either sink to the bottom and crawl across, since they can hold their breath for 7 minutes, or they can inflate their intestines and use them as a flotatio device to float. Edit. Thank you to everyone wishing me a happy cake day. So they actually have the real life option to cross the river or ford the river. Cork wagon and float it across. Do they swallow the air, or are they just butt chugging it? This is the real question. Penguins have a gland above their eye that converts salt water into fresh water. I can confirm. Thanks Tim, very cool. And brother. Listen, why don't we hire a bunch of penguins and save the world? Ma, why you gotta put that out there? Now humans are gonna start enslaving penguins, and I'm gonna read an article off r/authio.io about it. Snakes don't have eyelids. If you see a snake blink, that's a legless lizard. I had to look this up. Legless lizards are distinct from cephalias, which are a form of legless amphibians. Some varieties are called slow worms, which makes me laugh every time I remember it. All the deep-sea anglerfish you see pictures of with the lil lights hanging over their heads. They're all female. The males are tiny and born with a terribly weak jaw and a massive hunger. They seek out a female, and torn between hungry and horny they bite her. She then releases an enzyme that fuses the male to her body. She slowly absorbs them into her body with only their little testicles remaining, so she can instantly fertilize her eggs when she wants to. Some females have rows and rows of little testicles on their bodies from where they have absorbed multiple males. And you thought your sex life was weird, eh? But no kink shaming. Came here to say this, you stole my fact. The only thing I'd add is that they didn't even discover the males, period, for years, because they just thought those bumps were, bumps. The only thing I'd add. I used to research anglerfish, and I'd like to add a fact that's decidedly not as fun. There are over 200 species of anglerfish, and the vast majority of them do not reproduce this way. Of the ones that do, there's a spectrum with different levels of attachment. Some bite on, do the deed, and leave. Some bite on, do their thing, and die while still attached. As far as we know, there are only a handful that have been observed to fuse at the blood barrier level when mating. https://www.theoatmeal.com/comics/angler. Crocodilias, gators, caiman, and crocs have a specialized liver and diaphragm which allows them to slowly rise and sink in the water. By pulling their diaphragm via the hepatic shunt, they can shift their center of gravity and float up or down. Sometimes the diaphragm malfunctions and they can't get it up. That's known as erectile dysfunction. That's so cool. I've always wondered how they can float half underwater so perfectly. Obligatory GIF. The mammal that has the most teeth is the giant armadillo of South America, with 74 teeth. But that's nothing to snails. A common garden snail can have 14,000 teeth. Some snails grow 25,000 teeth in their lifetime. And the teeth grow on their tongue. And some snails, like cone shells, have only 4 or 5 teeth that they use as venomous harpoons. Rajali are neat. Crows recognize individual people even if they are wearing disguises, and after many years. The people are wearing disguises, not the crows. Damn it. I was happily imagining how crows would disguise themselves. Would they wear a little mustache? Edited because brain. A mustache wouldn't be practical as the crow doesn't have a nose. I'm thinking dark glasses and a fez or something. Had a pet crow. Verify they are as smart or smarter than people think. They recognize individuals easily, and mine would deliberately tease some people. There was a crow that lived around my mom's backyard. It spent a good portion of its time actively trying to shit on mom's little dog. Did you sense that your crow chose some people to tease because they teased or were mean to the crow? Or just random crow fun? When caterpillars enter the chrysalis phase, they don't just sprout wings, their entire body first turns into a liquid, soupy substance which then reforms into the butterfly. The real crazy fact is that despite liquefying and then reforming as a butterfly, they retain memories from when they were a caterpillar. Stored in the cloudite. How'd they figure that out? I'm picturing the little bug flying back to their childhood twig like Ryan Howard. How's my favorite branch doing? Vultures urinate on their legs and feet to cool off on hot days, a process called urohydrosis. Their urine also helps kill any bacteria or parasites they've picked up from walking through carcasses or perching on dead animals. When you're so filthy that pissing all over yourself actually helps. Well, you didn't just have to call me out like that. The Inland Taipan snake has the strongest / potent venom on the planet, capable of killing around 290 humans with a single bite. Scaled to mice, a single bite could kill 250,000 mice. That said, bites from the Inland Taipan to humans have been pretty rare, as they usually stay underground and are not overly aggressive unless you jump all over their burrow. They also have a good number of predators who prey on them. I think the vast majority of taipan-related deaths are from captivity. It's fucked up that these venomous snakes hold humans captive. A sperm whale call is so loud the sound waves could kill a human if they swam close to the whale. Apparently some divers said they could feel the water heat up from the energy of the sound. Those divers were for sure swimming in whale pee. On a serious note, that's fascinating. I wonder if there are any recorded deaths from said call. You know why you've never heard of a whale killing humans? They're good at it. IRC that one is still under debate. They can definitely get loud enough to hurt people and maybe rupture eardrums, but I don't think there's ever been a recorded case of them actually managing to kill someone with sound alone. I'm going to bet being underwater is the biggest problem. Even just being stunned by a sud wave, you've got to breathe. I have heard that military sonar has killed / seriously injured divers before, as well as killed off sea life. The vast majority of Greenland sharks are blind thanks to a special parasite that eats their eyes and replaces them. It is thought that this might actually be helpful because A, their eyesight was shit anyway, B, the parasites wave like lures and may have an anglerfish-like effect, and C, the sharks are super slow, so that might be one of the few ways for them to catch live prey. Imagine something eating your eyeballs and it being an upgrade. Took me a second read to understand what you meant. But if I get it correctly now, you're saying that now that the parasite is in the eyes of the shark, it appears like a lure to other fish, increasing the shark's chances of catching prey. Very cool. Opossums are, I believe, the only marsupials native to North America. They also have a body temperature so low that it makes them functionally immune to rabies. More fun is that marsupials originated in North America, died out, and then were reintroduced when South and North America merged. South America got marsupials from when Australia, Antarctica and South America were one continent. Marsupials were widespread everywhere before being outcompeted by placental mammals on all continents except Australia. Australia is uniquely isolated from other continents and placental mammals never happened to evolve there. North America was home to placental mammals due to its connection with Eurasia, and when South America connected to it, the placental mammals moved into SA and marsupials moved into NA. Only the possum managed to compete well enough to remain today. They also eat ticks, and are just generally amazing creatures. 10/10 recommend getting some opossum friends. Opossums are still pretty cool, but unfortunately the tick thing got debunked recently. It was a flawed study. No evidence they eat ticks en masse, or even at all. Field and Stream article with the details. Turkey vultures projectile vomit as a means of defense. Seems effective, I wouldn't go near them learning that. Bees have 5 eyes. 2 complex like a fly's and 3 simple eyes like a spider. I have to wonder, what function does each eye provide that the others wouldn't? The 2 main eyes are called compound because they are made from tons of little subunits called ommatidia. Together, these eyes provide an image for them. The 3 simple eyes are archly and function not to provide images, but for day/night cycles, seasons, and to some extent orientation. Also, bees can turn their heads, just not like a full 180 degrees. Also, the 5-eye thing describes a tremendous number of distantly related insects, from dragonflies and mantids to wasps and beetles. There are of course exceptions to this, especially for burrowing creatures. The fly-type eyes, IIRC, are the ones that pick up the UV spectrum. It helps them find flowers to pollinate. Can they turn their heads? The Western Lowland Gorilla's scientific name is gorilla. There are several of these. Gallus, the Kashi Chinese red jugglerfowl, the chicken is Gallus domesticus. Lynx, the northern European lynx. Ratus, the black rat. Vulps, the Scandinavian red fox. More here. Chickens will come say goodbye to each other when one is dying, and they do soft clicks and will then leave, and that chicken will normally die alone. Some chickens also will kill another chicken because they sense something's wrong with the chicken, a disease for example. Hope you enjoyed these facts. I found them in a book called How to Speak Chicken. Chickens are brutal, but they can be very lovely once you bond with them / feed them enough times for them to learn what you look like. They are so dumb while also kind of being smart in a weird way. Chickens are much smarter than people give them credit for. Studies have shown that they can learn 20 to 30 words. I once had a chicken that learned to say, hello. Prior to that I thought only corvids and parrots could learn words. They know how to count, understand object permanence and a bunch of other relatively advanced cognitive skills. https://blog/how-smart-r-chickens. I watched one of my chickens die. It was so sad. The other chickens went over to her to mourn for a minute, then went about their day. 1 minute is pretty significant by chicken standards.